Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another speed build. I built another modern mansion in the Desert Valley and I really love how this one turned out. So when you look up modern mansions on Pinterest, you will find lots of mansions which look similar. I looked at all these wonderful mansions and I really liked this specific style and I was inspired by that, but I did not copy a existing mansion or anything. I did my own thing, but I was inspired by the style. You have all these conversation pits, as you can see here, lots of pools and more. So there's a lot going on, and I had so much fun building this. So at first I built a foundation and then I built a platform. So I created this conversation pit and I built multiple of these and I just wanted to have this type of look. And of course it's also functional so your Sims can hang out there. I also incorporated some counters and bar stools and then I settled on a floor color that I'm going to use all over the build. So this is kind of the color scheme. And this here is a chair, like some type of cushion where your Sims can sit on, and I rotated this using tool, which of course never affects the gallery upload. So I simply placed lots of these cushions and I wanted to have this specific look because again, when you take a look at these mansions on Pinterest, not only do they have lots of conversation pits, they also have lots of pillows all around the sofas for some reason. I mean, it's cozy and it looks really cool. So I definitely wanted to create this type of style and I built the pool around it. So it just has this type of look. In another area later on, I'm going to build a sunken area that is kind of inside a pool. So the pool is around this area. Here it's kind of elevated and I built it on top of a foundation and then I built the platform around it. But I still think it looks super cool. And then I started to work on this area here, which is kind of the area right in front of the house. So as you can see here, my approach once again is a bit different. I did not build the whole shell and then started to furnish. I really tackled this build section by section and I just wanted this to look really beautiful. And I also wanted to have this specific style and I just kind of added more and more and I wanted to make sure that it looks like this type of style that I was going for. And here I used a dining table and I lowered it into the ground using tool. I used these armchairs from Perfect Patio Stuff. Again, when you look at these pictures, usually it looks really similar. And this plant that I used in the corners here, I have no idea where it comes from. I think I've talked about this in my last speed build as well. Suddenly I noticed it and I used it and I don't know if it's new. Was it added in a update or I don't know, it's so weird. Someone on my Discord server also said, where does this plant come from? I don't know, maybe it is new. Let me know if you have noticed this one before. It's base game and it looks really beautiful. I then expanded the pool and I used the Spotty Stony Goodness slab. I also used it in other areas, for example, on top of the platform for the conversation pit, but then I also used it on the pool, like on the surface of the pool, which is what it's supposed to be used for actually. Like this is what it's meant to be. You're supposed to place it on a water surface. Of course, you could use it for all kinds of different things, but this is what I did here and I think it looks super fancy. I then used my beloved Snowy Escape windows because I wanted to have this type of look. At first I wanted to use some white windows, but then I decided against this. Also on the reference picture that I looked at, there were these super huge lounge chairs, so I combined multiple of them and I then added these lighting straps, some spotty all around and some hedges, so all kinds of details. So I was already adding lots of details at this point. And then, as I said, I just expanded the build section by section, which was so much fun. I like to build this way. It kind of makes fun to make each area look beautiful and then you add more stuff and it kind of comes along. I was a little bit scared that the whole shape would not work out, but it did. I like how it turned out, but this is always a bit exciting when you're building this way. Another way to do it is, of course, to just work on the shelf first, but I don't know, here this just wasn't what I wanted to do. I then used platforms to have some columns, and then I added an exterior trim, and at this point I finally started to work on the house, and I built a balcony on top of this area. And balconies are perfect in Desert Valley because of the view. It's just such a beautiful world. And there is an ungodly amount of sitting areas, like just areas where Sims can hang out, have a barbecue. I'm going to build a full-blown outdoor kitchen. And up here, at first, I also wanted to use a dining table and I wanted to lower it into the ground, but I then decided against this because I realized that the bottom of the dining table would kind of poke through the ceiling, and that's not a good look. So I just ended up using this base game coffee table, and in the center, like in the middle of these armchairs, you see the pristine pedestal. And I think this is the first time ever that I'm using it the way it's supposed to be used. Like, it's just a surface, a table. You can just put something on top. And I just used it this way. And I was mind blown how good it looks. I always use it to create round shapes and stuff. But it's indeed a good table. Like a cute little white cube, a cute table. I like it. And then I almost forgot this. I decided against the whole look. And I ended up using more sofas from Discover University. I had also used these for the conversation pit, and then I used an object from Eco Lifestyle, which is some type of wood beam, and I wanted to create some trellis over my balcony, and I liked the look so much, this contrast between the white and the black and this beautiful wood color, that I ended up using it all over the build. And then I decided to build some decorative spiral stairs, but at the same time they are kind of functional because I simply decided to add a ladder. So these wood planks are from the base game, and I built them so it looks like spiral stairs, and the stairs on the left side, the proper stairs, I placed them for reference because I had no idea how big or small the gap in between the steps should be, so I placed these stairs to have a reference, and then I placed this wood plank all around this small room. And at first I built this thing in the center because I wanted to place each wood plank right in the center, but I didn't really use this as a reference. I don't know, it just looked funny because of the sign in the center. And then I simply placed this below a balcony. I first placed it and then I built the balcony, and then I attached my ladder. And the cool thing is that this is functional because your Sims are able to walk right through these wood planks, so they won't block your Sims' path, and it's functional. They can simply go up the ladder and it works perfectly fine. So as you saw, I built these trellis using a equalized debug object, and the color is pretty similar. So here and there we have a bit of wood, so it looks more natural. And as I said, I wanted to have this contrast, so there are a couple of natural colors. And when I built these spiral stairs, I loved the look so much that I decided to place them multiple times. And you will see that they are popping up in different areas later on. And what I did was I set a grouping box using tool, and I simply duplicated my spiral stairs, because as I always say, when you've built something once, you can always just copy it and place it in another area, because why should you build it again? You just build it, just copy it. So that's what I did. So you will see that I built this spiral stairs in different areas, and they are just a connection between the level at the bottom and different balconies, and they just look so fancy. And as I said, I just love the wooden color, so natural, just beautiful. And I was also running into a bit of a problem, and we're going to talk about this now, because this might have something to do with the ladders, but I'm not sure. So I encountered a horrible error, and Sadie actually had the same issue a while back. And the problem is, when you are in the world overview and the map view, when you want to access the build, when you want to go to live mode, it won't let you. So there's an error message and it's not working. Luckily, I had saved this build to the gallery, so I created a new save file. I placed the build again, but the same error happened again and again. And Marlin, you probably all know her. She's a talented, wonderful builder. She also had the same issue in the past. And today, Sadie tweeted about this, and SimGuru Nick noticed this, and they are looking into this. Sadie uploaded her save file, so we hope that there will be some type of fix. The problem is that I won't be able to upload this build at all, like not to the gallery, not the tray files, because it's broken technically. The build itself is functional and you can access build mode, but you wouldn't be able to play on this. lot, which is sad. I still decided to upload the video and to finish the build because I was almost done. I just had to furnish a couple of bedrooms, so I decided to post it. I mean, this would be sad. I really love this build, and I kind of hope to find a fix. We think it could be ladders because Sadie had this theory because she used ladders in a build that had this issue. And the weird thing is I never really use ladders because it's not my style. Like, I rarely use them, but I used them probably for the first time or the second time, I don't know, and I got this error, which was weird. Like, when I told her, she was right away, okay, did you use ladders? And I did. But then someone on Twitter also said that stairs could be the culprit here, and I'm not sure anymore. So I'm going to try to fix this somehow. I'm going to delete all stairs and all ladders, and I will see if I can fix this. If I should be able to fix this, you will find my gallery ID and the lot name in the description box, and I'm also going to pin it to the comments. Like, I'm going to leave a comment and pin it so you guys know if it's available or not, and if not, I'm going to upload it as soon as there's some type of fix. I don't know. As I said, Nick is going to look into this. Apparently maybe there will be a fix, and what kind of scares me is this could technically affect any build that you're working on. Like, you're working on a huge build, you like it, and then you can't play in it. Like, even when you're building for yourself, when you're working on a build for your Sims, this is just really sad. As I said, I still wanted to show you the process, how I built this. I wanted to talk about the tricks that I've used here, and as soon as I know more, I'm going to update you. I'm going to tweet about this. I'm going to talk about this in my next video. So if I should find a fix, I'm going to talk about it, because maybe you're running into the same problem at some point. I don't know. I also removed my whole mods folder to make sure that it's not mod related. I did not expect it to be mod related, but you never know, and it did not fix the issue. And as I've said, Sadie, Marlon, and probably lots of other people had the same issue as well. So we will see what's going to happen. So this is a quick disclaimer. This has never happened before. I had some builds that were like super buggy, that had lots of issues, but I was always able to kind of fix it, and I was able to upload them. So this would be the first build that is not available, and I'm sorry about that, but we will see what's going to happen. I hope that there will be a fix. I will fight for this. I will do everything. I'm going to delete all stairs and all ladders. I'm going to try everything. So here I'm using a debug object from Discover University. Actually, these are just some vines, and I combined them with some vines from Get Together. I wanted to have this beautiful wall, and it's super modern, but at the same time there are so many natural elements, which is why I love these mansions on Pinterest. I don't know, I don't even think that they are real. They are like 3D renders, like concept art for mansions, and they look so similar. You always have these glass pools usually, which I didn't replicate. You could do that by using a foundation and the glass foundation color, but for some reason it just wasn't fitting. Also, there's so much going on in this build. There's so many conversation pits and trellis and different things. I didn't want to incorporate a glass pool as well. And here for this roof I used this rock again, but this wasn't working. As you can see, I had to pan the camera at a certain angle, otherwise it wouldn't let me place this object for whatever reason. I don't know. And yeah, I was running into a couple of bugs as I've explained, but luckily I did not encounter the disappearing translucent floor bug, which is something that most of the time happens when you're using the unliving glass floors, and I used them here in the center, as you can see, for the roof, but luckily this wasn't happening. I don't know, I think at this point it would have been pretty sad because there are so many bugs already. I don't know. Also, I don't know if you've heard, but there is a laundry list. This is what they are calling this, where the Sims team is addressing a couple of errors or bugs that people have been experiencing that they try to tackle next. And I think that they are planning to update or publish a new laundry list monthly. And I took a look today, and most of or all of these issues seem to be gameplay related, which I totally understand. I never play, I only build these days, so I have no idea what's going on gameplay wise, but I was a bit disappointed that there are no building bugs, because there are definitely a couple of building bugs that should be addressed. One example, I'm going to give you one example that all of you who are building probably know. The good old fence bug, when you build a fence and then you pick up a gate and you hover over your fence with the gate, and then there's like a gap inside your fence and it just disappears. And this is like such an old bug. Same goes for the disappearing floor bug, which has been happening since summer 2019. It's been a long while, so I would be really happy if for the next laundry list, if there could be a couple of building related issues as well. But gameplay is of course super important as well, because I mean, this isn't just a building simulator. I mean, you just play the game however you like, but at the end of the day, it's of course about building a house and then playing inside that house, so you can lead a life with your Sims kind of. So gameplay is of course super important, and I understand that, but please, I want a fix for some building glitches and bugs, because some issues are just really annoying, I just have to admit. So here I just added more decorations to the front of the exterior. I of course had to connect the build to the street, like to the front, and I just used more of these plants. And this is like super square on the outside. I didn't use any rocks, like no rocks at all, which is really rare. I always use them. And here I'm using some no-CC gallery art. As always, I'm going to give credit in the description box, and I just wanted to have a really fancy backsplash for the kitchen, so I used some no-CC gallery art. So these look like tiles, but this is just painted by a sim on an easel, and a lot of simmers upload these amazing paintings to the gallery, and you can just grab them and you can decorate your house, and it's no-CC. I then used some platforms. I wanted to have a super fancy island counter. I just wanted to have a super over-the-top kitchen, because the outside is already so over-the-top. I just wanted to incorporate more of that. This just had to be really fancy. This plant is from the recent base game update. It was made by Hey Harry, by Sam. It's just so beautiful. And I used the stove from Story Escape, because it's so simple. It's just perfect for builds like this. So you can just kind of hide it in your island counter. And I wanted this to be quite monochrome at first, but then as you will see, I ended up using some green bar stools, and I created a fancy pattern on the floor using just the regular wooden floor color that I had already used on the exterior. And I then noticed that it wasn't really centered when it comes to the wall on the left side. I'm going to place some no-CC gallery art over there, and it wasn't centered, so I fixed that, because it was really annoying me. And then it looked good, and I was really happy. And no-CC gallery art is just such a way to make things look more fancy. And as you can see, here's a bit of green going on because of the bar stool, and these lamps, I mean, the color isn't identical, but there's a bit of green in these lamps. And then I added this zebra rug. I love zebras. Like, whenever I'm in a zoo, I love zebras so much, and I just had to use the zebra rug. Every once in a while I have to use it, and there are lots of different patterns going on, but I just had to use the zebra rug. So at this point, the kitchen was pretty much done, and then I moved on to working on the entrance area. And I decided to build an indoor Zen garden, and I was inspired by a wonderful fellow simmer whose name is Lux Arcana. I hope I said this right. I'm going to link their channel down below, so please check them out. They are totally new to making speed builds, and they just published their very first video, and to me that's always so exciting, because at some point you just think, hey, should I make a speed build? And then you just never stop, and this happens. You just have a community and so much fun, and I think beginnings are always special. So if you want to show some support to a fellow simmer, and I was just really inspired by their indoor Zen garden, and they're just so lovely, so wonderful. I just love their voiceover and their build, and yeah, just check out Lux Arcana. I'm going to link the channel down below and just check them out. Talking about the description box, I'm also going to link my most recent video down below in case you've missed it. I have a giveaway going on right now, so you can win a pack of your choice for PC. So I'm going to link that down there as well. So much stuff going on, and also the share challenge. I don't know, there's just so much happening right now. Really exciting. So this here is the living room. I used the Discover University sofas, and I decided to use the same ones that I had used on the exterior, and I then sized down a bed, as you can see here, and I merged it into the sofa, so it looks like those fancy corner sofas where you have an area like this for just chilling and hanging out. And the original pillows of the bed were visible, and I just decided to hide them. I used the same pillows that I had used in the exterior, so I wanted to have the same style. I used this rug because I wanted to have a pop of color, just a little bit, and there's so many windows all around this room. It's really bright and sun flooded and just beautiful. And this surface, this table, is from Dine Out. I love to use it for stuff like this. And then I decided to have just some type of office area, and I placed 3 PCs over there. That's a lot, but I always think when you have a big sim family, you need the space. Also talking about big, this house has 10 bedrooms in total. Yes, 10. And when I realized that there are 10 bedrooms that I have to furnish, I thought, oh my god, wow, a lot of bedrooms. Yeah, unfortunately, as I've said, I'm not able to upload this probably, or not immediately because of the whole bug situation. But yeah, here you can see a couple of bedrooms that I furnished, and I used lots of green, and for some reason I also used lots of green for the other bedrooms. Like, I started off by working on this bedroom, I used lots of green, and then I kind of used green for some of the other bedrooms as well, just a bit, just some, like here this minty green or blue, I don't even know what this is. Okay, it looks more blue, not really green, and I just wanted to have a bit of color here and there. I love these objects that we got for the anniversary, for the birthday of The Sims, where we got some free objects created by CC creators, and I'm just in love with all these wonderful objects, so I had to use them for this room as well. And I decided to change the color on the walls a bit. You can see also lots of green. This again is some NoCC gallery art, and it's just so sun flooded. Deso Valley is my favorite world for building. It's just so wonderful, and I just had to create another huge mansion. And this is actually it. As I've said, I am probably not able to upload this right away to the gallery because of the bug, because you wouldn't be able to access live mode, but I will see if I can figure something out, and I'm going to show you some screenshots. But first, before I say goodbye, I have to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. So thank you so much to Britta1607, Charlotte, Molly, Shannon McClam, and SimSationalToo. I love you all so much, and I also love all my other Patreons, and of course each and every one of you watching this video. I love you all, so thank you so much for all of your support. And here you can see some screenshots. I hope that you enjoyed this video and this build. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the giveaway. I'm going to link the video down below as well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.